And I think people have to get psychologically comfortable that could Bitcoin correct into the mid 70s from where we are right now. I believe that. Yeah, it's possible. Could it go lower than that? I think if it goes lower than that, it's a huge buying opportunity. And I think I would try to figure out ways to buy more. Although I'm loaded to the gills of Bitcoin, I would try to figure out a way to buy more. But I think Bitcoin probably corrects into the mid 70s and probably ends the year in the mid 180s.
So there we have it from Anthony Scaramucci. He's weighing in, and we'll hear more from him before this video is out, so make sure you watch this to the end. But he just gave you some price predictions. We'll get some more details on why he thinks that, but make sure you watch this one to the end. And getting straight into it, the current time it's recording, we're seeing Bitcoin down at 84,000, 84.6 the current time it's recording. And what do we see? What do we anticipate? So look at this yellow line. We've showed you this before. We can't but hit our head on it once, had a bear market, twice, bear market. We actually hit it for the third time. Will we go into a bear market? But we haven't got that oversold on the RSI. The RSI has not got up to this 90 range where it has in previous cycles. Every time before, one, two, the third time's a charm, but the RSI doesn't seem overbought like it has in the past. What do you think? Do you think that we're going to see lower price action? Bitcoin bros think so. Potentially. Why do we think that? If we look at the price chart, Bitcoin's going to hit its head once, twice on this bearish engulfing candle breaking through this $92,000 resistance. We told you in previous videos that's the area to look at. Once we broke it, then we fell through. This is on the monthly chart. Will we come down to this level down here? This was previous resistance. We blasted through. We never came back and back tested it on the monthly. This is around that $72,000 range. We could wick all the way down to the 60s, but this range would be an optimal reload opportunity. Right now, we did see a slight bearish divergence with a higher price and a lower high in the RSI. So pay attention to that. If we pull out the stochastic to see what do we see, what do we anticipate, and pair this with our other indicators, right now the stochastic is also pointing to the downside. So could we get a cool off a low period, and how low could we go? 72 is that range to look at. Anthony Scaramucci weighs in, but he also did come back and say 180 before the year's out. What do you think? MicroStrategy at the current time it's recording is coming in at 255. And as you see, this 20 moving average on the 2-week has acted as a pogo stick right here. We held it last time and bounced up from all the way down to 107 up to 540. And right now we have this retracement. This could be some type of ABC retracement. If they were looking at the Elliott waves, you see wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. Could this be wave 4, and could be getting ready to gear up for that fifth leg to go up and put new all-time highs in? Is this an optimal load up zone, or will this level hold? Once again, it's indicative of what Bitcoin does. Are you stacking your bags right here? Right now, the RSI is pointing to the downside. Will this level hold? Will we just trade sideways like we did before? Once we had this retracement, maybe have a retest of the 20 moving average before we continue up to the upside. If we look on the lower time frames, like let's start at the 4-hour, do we see any divergences as of yet? Let's get rid of the stochastic. So right here, we see a potential higher low is the price action is actually putting in a higher low. This is a higher low. So we have a continuation to the downside. That could be what's in the cards. If we look on the daily, is there anything different? Nope, we're in oversold territory. Could we come down lower to the 230s range? That definitely could be what's in the cards. So right now, we're not 100% certain if this pullback is finished. Nobody knows how low this will go. But as you can see here, we've had this channel that we've been in for quite some time. And if we just, the trend's your friend to the end, you see we came back and back tested the downwards level of this channel. So will we come back up here to the 360 range? And will we break out of it, flip resistance to support to have continuation? Or will we fill this gap here before coming back down and retesting lower levels? You be the judge. On the daily, we're oversold in the RSI. The last time we were this low was back in basically January of 23. And if we look at the price action from back then, we have to expand it and see what happened from this blow off top. We see January of 23 is back here. This was a bottom. We had a bullish divergence here. This was a load up zone. So if you're buying down here, this is an optimal opportunity. So January of 23 to March of 24, you see we blasted up, but it didn't stop there. Had a low out, another continuation to the upside, a low out. Will this be an optimal load up zone for all market participants? Jesse Olsen is playing devil's advocate here. As you see, the 200-week moving average. Every time we come back down to this is an optimal load-up zone, optimal load-up zone. In bull markets, we see a peak right here, pullback, another peak before we go into a bear market again. Optimal load-up zone, peak, higher high with another peak. Are we getting ready to come back down and retest these levels? With the current time that's recording, this is all the way down to around $50,000. Could we go down that low? Bob Lucas is weighing in on his market thesis, and he has the 4-year cycle intact. And what you see here at the bottom, we've had, 35 months to almost every peak. Bottom is week 47. And if this holds week 30 or month 35, which is October, November of this year, would be the peak. And then we see another downwards retracement for about another 12 to 13 months. So are we just holding this trend line? Could we come down a little further, down to the mid 70s? Possibly, yeah, but that will once again be an optimal load up zone. Going into the next 6-7 months, could we begin that more parabolic? That could be what's in the cards, so stay tuned. Another chart, what he's showing you here is right now we're in week 25 where a pullback was expected. Once again, no one knows how low this current pullback will go, but eventually we'll base out, get out of this, and we'll do one of two scenarios. We either come back up, retest these higher levels here, these higher highs, potentially put in a higher high before ultimately rolling down and seeing more bear market structure, but we need to see a continuation to this upside. And that's the latter part of this year where we will see that. So we're not out the woods yet, even though this could be an opportunity to get this quick bounce. No guarantees this will occur. You got to wait and see what the market gives you. Without further ado, let's finish hearing from Anthony Scaramucci and see what he has to say for the rest of 2025.
Could Bitcoin correct into the mid 70s from where we are right now? I believe that. Yeah, it's possible. Could it go lower than that? I think if it goes lower than that, it's a huge buying opportunity. And I think I would try to figure out ways to buy more. Although I'm loaded to the gills with Bitcoin, I would try to figure out a way to buy more. But I think Bitcoin probably corrects into the mid 70s and probably ends the year in the mid 180s. You say, well, how the hell is that going to happen? Because that's just what Bitcoin does. It'll clean out all the renters. And there are people out there right now at BlackRock and Fidelity that are talking to their clients about strategically owning Bitcoin. You mentioned the UAE, they own several hundred million Bitcoin. You mentioned the state of Wisconsin, several hundred million Bitcoin now. Incrementally, people are buying Bitcoin. As they incrementally buy the Bitcoin, it'll be very, very positive for Bitcoin's price activity. And that's not to say that there won't be price movements like this. There's things going on. We've just experienced the biggest hack. $1.5 billion was hacked at a Bybit by the North Koreans. Terrible hack. They're going to survive it, thank God. And they've got a lot of friends in the industry that have helped them and backed them up. But that causes a crisis of confidence when things like that happen. And so go back to prior hacks, look at Bitcoin price activity, and you'll see that what I'm saying is more or less true. So I think we bottom in the mid 70s, but we close the year in the mid 180s.